clocking time? Do you want? I just need you to give me like a 5-minute warning.
Yeah. It's like,
Because now the clock doesn't help me. Ready?
Yep.
All right, gang, I'm so excited for our first mat meetup. Today we're going to be using dumbbells and a WundaCore. So we're gonna rise onto our feet to get started. We're just gonna come into a nice wide open stance. We're gonna open up through the shoulders and the neck and the ribs as we begin. So we're gonna take the arms up and overhead, palms facing in. And then we're gonna inhale as we arc and fan the right ribs. Exhale, bring it back to center. Inhale, arc and fan the left ribs. Exhale, bring it back to center. We want to make sure that we are keeping lots of length in your low back. We want to make sure we're not reaching for this deep, deep dive side to side. So it should really feel more like you're fanning the ribs rather than diving and taking a big reach one direction or the other. You can use the dumbbells to kind of plug your arms into the shoulders. And if they feel aggressive, just set them down. We'll go for one more each side. And then bring it back to center. We're gonna lower into a plie in turnout. So that means we keep our ribs right on top of our pelvis. You can see from the profile, we're not bowing forward at all. Feet are in turnout. And just take a quick glance, knees are aligned, big toe, second toe. Let's bring the arms into approximately a 90-degree bend. And we're going to go through some rotations through the shoulders. So we're going to bring the elbows down and around and then up and out to the side. So this is just opening up some mobility through the shoulders. This is also going to help open up mobility through the neck, because oftentimes when we have tension in our neck and shoulders, they're all tied together. So you don't want to just stretch your neck. You want to make sure that you're looking for mobility and not locked up or stiffness through the shoulder and the shoulder blades as well. You might even want to close your eyes and visualize your shoulder blades gliding around your ribs. They should be lowering, raising, and drifting side to side. Let's change direction of that circle. So now we're going out, up, around and in. If you want to look for more challenge here, you can also do this with long arms rather than with bent elbows. It's a much bigger ask on the shoulders. I'm going to keep mine bent, especially at the beginning of a workout, but that is an option if you want to go for extended arms. We're going to go for one more circle here. And go ahead and inhale, rise all the way up. Let's set one dumbbell down and we're going to pick up our WundaCore. So we're going to do a lunge with our right foot back and our left foot forward. And I have the WundaCore over the top of my thigh, left thigh with my left hand. Right foot is back, heel is lifted, and right leg is long. So I'm already holding a stationary lunge through the left side, making sure the pelvis is shining straight forward. And we're going to think about that left knee stretching away from your left hip. Inhale, right arm goes long. Exhale, bring it down. So now we do have the arm long. If it's aggressive, you can always set the dumbbell down. Lengthening and reaching, keeping ribs in line with your pelvis. Keeping head in line with your spine. So your gaze is down a few feet in front of your left foot. Let's focus a little more on what's happening through the WundaCore. So it has a little flex in the middle of the WundaCore. So you want to find some energy up into the WundaCore via your left thigh and down into the WundaCore via your left shoulder. Let's keep working, and we're going to hold the right arm up and we're going to peel the left heel up and off the mat just a little bit. Hold and breathe. And now we're going to micro bend and extend that right leg. If that feels wobbly for you, you can bring the left foot back down to the mat. It's a micro bend and extend of the right leg. Beautiful, like a little fascial flossing. Keep working on your end. That looks great. It should feel like it's a shaky, quivery kind of a thing. And the WundaCore should be the wide way. I'm seeing some WundaCores the long way, so you want to have the WundaCore kind of where it's snuggled over your thigh like this, the wide way. Good. All right, guys, let's hold the next one. Holding the left heel up, hold the right leg all the way long. We are going to take our torso upright. So now I have my ribs stacked right on top of pelvis. Left heel is lifted if that's accessible to you. And then we're going to exhale, lower the right knee straight down, trying to keep it right under your right hip. That's an exhale. Go as deep as you can. Maybe you touch the mat, maybe not. Inhale as you lengthen. The left leg is not going to go long. The left leg stays bent. It is the right leg lowering, reaching for the mat. Big stretch through the front side of that right thigh. Inhale as we bring it up. Left heel can be down or up. Keep your ribs right on top of pelvis. We're going to go for 2 more like this. I have that right arm as close to your ear as you can get it. Exhaling down, inhaling to raise. We're going to hold this next one down. Glue your eyes to something ahead of you to assist you with your balance. Holding the next one low for 5. Reach the left thigh bone deep into the hip for 2. And bring your right knee all the way down. All right, we're going to set the dumbbell down just for a moment, and we are going to take the WundaCore and use it for our bridges today. So I'm going to show you what I'm doing from this angle. I'm going to have my left foot on top of the loop but inside, and my right foot is going to be over the top arch. So I have one foot inside the WundaCore, the left foot, and then I have the right foot over on top. So it's a little unlevel bridge. Arms are long at your sides. If you don't have a WundaCore, you can just pick your right heel up so that you have an unlevel surface. Left foot is flat. You want the WundaCore under your arch, and then we're going to inhale as we peel, lift, and elongate, reaching. And exhale, melting from behind your heart first. Keep your booty up, melting down, lowering spaces between your spine. It's an exhale down. Inhale, lengthen, reach, extend, knees reach, reach, reach to the top of the wall in front of you. Arms are super active. Exhale as we melt back down. So we're working to keep lots of energy through the soles or the arches of both feet. And it's real wobbly on that WundaCore. That's okay. If it's not for you today, you can also always have 2 feet flat on the ground. We're inhaling to lengthen, reach, and extend. We're exhaling as we keep the hips up, melt from behind the heart, and really lengthen the spine down, opening space through your spine, through your neck, through your shoulders as you move. Melting down, reaching. We're going to hold the next one up. Inhale, lengthen, reach. Get the arms like really heavy into the mat, the hands like starfish, and take both arches inside of the WundaCore. So I have both feet flat on the ground, but the WundaCore is under my arches, and we're going to hold and breathe here. If it's accessible to you, we're going to start mobilizing the arms again, helping to open up mobility and range of movement through the neck, through the shoulders. So you get some tactile feedback of those shoulder blades lowering and raising below you. Super tempting to let your booty drop. Try not to let your booty drop. So I'm moving my arms kind of like toy soldiers. Nice and straight, fingertips closed with intention, like you're moving the arms through molasses, super thick and sticky, super slow. Reach the knees long away from your hips. We're going to make this the last one. Even your arms out. Both arms are going to come back to the mat, nice and strong. Keep your booty up, up, up. Left arch comes on top of the WundaCore. Get yourself situated. Exhale, melting down from behind the heart. Lowering down, 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 unfurling your spine. Strong arms imprinting into the mat. Inhale, reach, lengthen, extend, knees stretch, and reach away from the hips. Exhale as you melt down, lengthening, lowering, bringing it all the way down. Inhaling, reaching, opening space, recruiting your glutes to help get your hips up, recruiting your arms and your middle back. The hamstrings are working, of course they are, but that's not the only thing working here. You gotta share that effort through the entire body. Lots of inner thigh with this unstable WundaCore below us, lots of middle back, lots of core by setting your heart down first. This is going to be the last one with our feet unlevel in this position, lifting, reaching, and slowly melting all the way back down. All right, we're going to come with both feet inside of the WundaCore. It's now just above my ankles. Okay, so I have both feet inside, it's just above my ankles, laying onto your left side. So we're going to have our left side down on the mat. I like to have my ear resting on my biceps of the left arm and the left ear, and then my right hand is just in front of me to assist my balance. Once that's true, make sure you are on the center of your hip, of the side of your hip. It should feel a little bit wobbly. And then we're going to reach our legs so long that the WundaCore is hovered off of the mat. So it should feel awesome already. Is that true? Thumbs up? Yeah, I knew it was. All right, we're going to reach and extend. Inner thighs are stretching longer than the soles of your feet. Flex your feet a lot. So your toes come forward. You deeply crease at the front side of the ankles. That's an exhale. Inhale, yawn, open the front side of the ankles. Don't worry about your toes pointing. Exhale as you crease. If we worry about toes pointing, that's going to grip the underside of the foot and not give us as much core and inner thigh connection. It's too far away from the middle. So you can even test that theory. You can test that. You can kind of really try to point your toes, really point, and you're going to feel grippy, and you're going to feel a lot of attention to the foot instead of to the inner thighs and the core. So we're opening up flexibility here. Next time we have the front side of our ankles open, we're going to reach and extend and hold that. Hold that. We're going to lengthen both legs up and out. Woo, that is a burner. We're reaching and extending. There should be no slack on the WundaCore. It's tempting to kind of want to let it swing in the breeze here. Think less about how high your legs go, more about keeping that WundaCore really strongly in place, keeping your ribs from resting into the mat, and lengthening those inner thighs longer than the sole of the feet. Reaching to extend. You have 4 more here. We're going to go onto our tummies, keeping the WundaCore where it is, in 2. Lengthening and reaching. This is going to be the last one. And keep the WundaCore where it is. Roll onto your tummy. We're going to go into some grasshoppers. So you can have your head down on the mat like this. So I have my hands stacked and my forehead is on my hands. I'm going to have my head up a little bit so you guys can hear me. My WundaCore is still around the ankles. We're going to flex the feet a lot, okay? You're looking straight down at the mat. Make sure your pubic bone is strongly into the mat, creating support in the low back and lots of core connection. We don't just hang into the mat. Flex the feet a lot. And then we're attempting to crease at your gland line, right where your legs and your tush meet. So the knees stretch so long that the legs barely hover. It might be invisible, but I'm feeling it, I'll tell you that. We're reaching and extending, little lift and lower. It's a reach versus a pop up, okay? So you want to reach. Your knees do not have to be at a 90-degree bend. I just want a fold in the knees for whatever is doable inside of your own skin. Keeping the pubic bone imprinting down, keeping the navel drawing up and in, even when we are laying in a prone position. Lengthening and reaching. The knees are stretching away from the hips, kind of like when we just did those bridges. Same idea. Lengthen and reach for 3. We're going to go for 2, and we're going to spin right over onto the other side to get those leg reaches done with that WundaCore. Last one, hold it up for 5. Reach the knees longer for 3, 2, and bring the knees down. All right, we're going to roll onto our right side. You can just roll over. I'm turning myself so I can still see you. So we're gonna have our right arm down, right ear on your right biceps, and both legs extend all the way up. So get yourself situated. You're gonna have your legs lengthened out so much so that they hover off the mat, just the tiniest bit. The WundaCore should be hovering as well. And we're gonna start with flexing and extending the ankles. Exhale, crease deeply at the front side of the ankles, and inhale, yawn, open the front side of the ankles. In my own skin, I'm feeling myself kind of wobble back and forth a little bit, and that's okay. We're just wanting to fight for that center point. You want to feel your bone under your right hip. There should be a pointy bone that you're balancing on. Try to reach for that. Trying to maintain parallel, you can do a quick glance down and just check that that is true. Inhale, yawn, open the ankles. Exhale, crease deeply, reaching the soles of your feet through the wall, through onto the other side, lengthening and reaching, making sure the bottom ribs are not just hanging. They might touch, I don't care, but we just don't chill. Can you send 1% more energy out into the WundaCore? Really lighting up the outer hips, low belly, inner thigh, and now we're gonna yawn, open the front side of the ankles, lengthening and reaching. Thinking about those inner thighs being dragged up and out. It might be a millimeter, I don't care how high, I care about how organized and how long. Lengthening and reaching. Beautiful job, guys. Here we go for 3. We're gonna go into that lunge on the other side in 2. Let's hold the legs long, hold and breathe 5, hold and breathe 4. Here we go, 3, 2, and bring the WundaCore down. All right, we're gonna take it off of our feet. We're gonna grab one dumbbell if you have it, and your WundaCore is going to be across your right thigh. So we wanna make sure it's this way. You can see the shadow, it is the wide way rather than the long way. It's gonna go over your right thigh. Left leg takes a nice big step back. Right palm is down and fingertips are closed. Straight away, we're gonna hold in your best diagonal. We're gonna find equal weight across the sole of your right foot and find that right knee stretching away from your right hip. Once that is all true, we're gonna start with the left arm. It's gonna inhale to lengthen and reach. Exhale as we lower down. So it's an isometric hold through the lunge to get started. And it's that left shoulder blade drifting down and around in order to lengthen the arm up. And then exhale, bring it down. Drawing the pubic bone up and in towards your low back, and drawing your navel up and in towards your middle back. That's going to help open space through your spine, deeply engage your core, and create stability for your back. Let's hold the left arm up, hold and breathe. We're gonna make sure we've got energy up into the WundaCore via your right hip and down into the WundaCore via your right shoulder. Maybe we peel the right heel up off the floor, maybe not. You can imagine it, you're still gonna get a lot of effort even if you just think about it. Right knee stretching away from right hip. Hold and breathe. We're gonna fascial floss that left leg. So keep working. I'm gonna do a little visual check-in. Beautiful. Thinking about that left elbow melting into your triceps. So allow that to really stretch and reach. Beautiful. Think about that right hip just dripping down to the floor the tiniest bit. Hold. Heel can be up or down. The left leg is long. Hold. The ribs go right on top of the pelvis. And then we're going to allow that left knee to melt. Open space on the front side of that left hip. Exhaling down and inhaling, bring it up. Maybe you get that left knee real close to the floor, but pay attention to what works inside of your own skin. If that's aggressive through your knees, just a little bend will do. It doesn't have to be a great big one. You're gonna feel a really nice stretch through the psoas, so that's going alongside your spine and crossing into the hip. You'll feel a nice stretch through the quadriceps. Really reach that left arm up as you plug it in. to your shoulder. Let's hold this last one low for 5, holding. 4, pubic bone up and in for 3, 2, and bring your knee down. Beautiful job, you guys. If you have your WundaCore, you can place it between your inner thighs. Otherwise, you're just gonna be 4 inches apart parallel. And we're gonna grab both dumbbells. So we're gonna have our knees and feet 4 inches apart and 1 dumbbell in each hand. Again, if you have sensitive shoulders, empty hands are always totally fine. We're gonna reach out to the side, bring the arms forward, and bring the arms down. Palms are down as we go out to the sides, gliding forward and bring it down. We're gonna layer on here, so we're gonna go out to the sides, sink down and back into a baby squat as the arms come forward, and then inhale, raise. Going outbound, staying upright, crease at the hips, and then bring it up. Doesn't have to be a great big one, especially if you have the WundaCore between your legs. You're not gonna be able to go all the way down. If you don't have the WundaCore, you can try going all the way down. Inhaling as the arms come up and out. Exhaling as we bow forward. Inhale, slowly raise. Exhale, arms to sides. Inhale, pick it back up. So going through there, almost like we are pulling taffy, moving slowly but without really stopping, using our breath to help power us through this range of movement. We're gonna go for 1 more like this, and we're gonna change it up. Exhale as you crease. Hold in your fold. We're gonna bring the arms to our sides, and then we're gonna swivel the palms back. So from the profile, I have my arms level with my ribs. I am in a soft bow forward, and we're gonna go into a little snow angel here. So the arms are long. They're staying in line with your hips. The crown of head is reaching away from the tailbone. Inhale as you lengthen. Exhale, bring it back down. Keep working on your end. We're gliding and reaching. Beautiful. So the head is the extension of the spine. Make sure that's happening. Reaching, stretching those arms. These look great, guys. Keep it up. Just a few more here. Inhaling as you reach and extend for 4. Maybe push the range of movement for that snow angel for 2. And last one, bring it all the way in. Beautiful. Okay, we're gonna set that WundaCore down. We're gonna keep 1 dumbbell. So we have 1 dumbbell in your right hand. Your left hand is down on the mat. We're going into a 4-point kneel. So we're gonna go into some bird dogs today. So we're gonna lengthen first the left leg. But notice, guys, that my toes are still down on the ground. So I didn't pick up my foot yet. We are going to bring the right arm in front of us. Palm is down. But we can bring the arm down as well. I'm actually going to have us have the arm, or the dumbbell, my fingertips, and my toes are still touching. We're going to come up and out at the same rate of speed. So we're going to lengthen the left leg and the right arm. That's an inhale. And exhale, try to touch them down at the same time. It's harder than it sounds. It's hard for me too. Inhale as you lengthen and reach. And exhale as we slowly decelerate both at the same pace. Try to have the toes and the hand kiss the mat at the same time. They're reaching and extending. Exhale, bring it down. Just a few more like this. If the dumbbell is aggressive, ditch it. Do it with an empty hand. Inhale, lengthen and reach. Keep your low back long, keep your pubic bone drawn up and in, and your navel. Hold the next one out for 5, 4, 3, 2, and bring both down. Excellent job. All right, we are going to take the dumbbell off to this side. Let's sit on our bottom with our feet in front of us and our hands behind us. We're gonna go into some tricep dips. You can have your hands flipped back or flipped forward, but I do like the fingertips off the mat just to give the shoulders and elbows more space. Knees and toes are glued together, and we're gonna lift your booty up and off the mat. So we're not all the way up into a reverse bridge. There's still a deep crease at the hips. And then we're gonna exhale, bend at the elbows until your seat taps down. It's not gonna be super far. And then we're gonna inhale, bring it up. So it's not a great big range of movement. If you want to lift your hips a little bit higher, that's fine. I just still want to crease on the front of the hips so you have a deeper bend. Inhale as you lengthen and keep your head as best as you can in line with your spine. Exhale down, inhale, bring it up. Keep working, but we're going to take the right ankle across your left knee. Right ankle across left knee, same thing. Exhale, oh, now we get it. Inhale, bring it up. So we're stretching and opening the hip and the low back while we are strengthening and toning our core, our shoulders, and our arms. Exhale down. Try to keep the pelvis level. Inhale, bring it up. One more on this side. Exhale down. Inhale, bring it up. Arms go long, 2 feet on the ground. Pause, reset. Left ankle comes across the right knee, left ankle, right knee. Just a few more here. Exhale as we lower down. Inhale as we lengthen and bring it up. Elbows bend, collarbone stay wide. Inhale as we reach. Beautiful, reaching those elbows back. One more on this side. Exhale down. And inhale, bring it all the way up. Beautiful. All right, we're gonna go into a teaser. I'm gonna use my WundaCore around my calves. You can choose to use it or not. And we're gonna grab one dumbbell. We're gonna keep it parallel to the floor like this. Okay, so I have each end of the dumbbell in my hands. We're gonna lean with a flat back. And then we're gonna melt the tailbone under you, melt the low back. The pelvis comes with it, hold, shallow curl, elbows out to the sides, and exhale, pick both legs up into your best bent knee teaser. Once we're there, inhale, rotate ribs towards the left, exhale, back through center. Inhale, rotate ribs towards the right, exhale, back through center. Lots of energy outbound on your WundaCore. Lots of intention about the ribs turning rather than the arms, hands, or shoulders. They're coming along for the ride only because your ribs turned. Inhale as you rotate, exhale, bring it back. Lots of energy outbound into that WundaCore, catching through the outer hips and deep low belly. And bring it back to center. Keep lengthening and reaching. We're gonna hold through the center. Once you've evened it out, hold through the center. The arms are gonna extend. The thigh bones drop deeper into the pelvis. The spine gets longer. It should be wobbly. You're perched right on top of your pelvis. Here we go for 4. You still have a shallow curve. For 3, bird dog, other side. In 2, and bring the legs down. All right, let's take the WundaCore out. And we are going to have the dumbbell in your left hand. Right hand goes onto the mat, and we have our knees and feet 4 inches apart, parallel. This time we're going to start with the right leg gliding back, back, back. Toes stay touching the ground or your mat. The left arm reaches in front of you. It is also still touching at a diagonal. On the inhale, lengthen, reach, and extend at the same speed. Exhale, lower down at the same speed. Inhale as we lengthen and reach. How are we doing on time? Exhale as we bring it down. So that left hip in my body is wanting to kind of creep up and start doing all sorts of squirrely things. See if you can keep yourself as organized as possible. Thank you. Inhale as you lengthen and reach. Exhale as we bring it down. Thinking about the hip and the shoulder versus the hand and the foot. So we are trying to move at the same speed, but we want to stay anchored. Let's hold this last one out for 5, 4, 3, 2, and bring it all the way down. Beautiful. All right, we're going to flip onto our back, and we're going to use our WundaCore if we have it. If not, you're wanting to interlace your fingers. Really mean it like a basket, okay? So take your WundaCore with you. We're going to go into some shallow curls. We're going to take our hands onto the outer part of the WundaCore, and it's going to go underneath the base of your skull. Elbows are really wide. Head goes all the way down, legs are all the way long. First thing we're gonna do, we're gonna inhale and peel just your head off the mat. And really let your head hang and see how much you can release the front side of the neck. Lots of weight received into your shoulders. We're just holding and breathing with a neutral pelvis. And then exhale, set your head all the way down. Inhale, pick it up. Again, we're just kind of exploring that hang, seeing if we can take out the tension in your neck. And exhale, bring it down. We're going to go into a slightly larger range of movement, but it is going to be shallow. So we're going to inhale, hover the head. Exhale, picking up all the way so the shoulder blades come off the mat. And then we're setting it back down. So the breath pattern is like this. We inhale, pick it up. Exhale, curl, lifting your shoulder blades off the mat. Hold for an inhale. And exhale, bring it all the way down. Inhale, pick up. Exhale, peel the shoulder blades off the mat. Inhale, hold. And exhale, set it back down. Hold for one brief pause with your head down. We're going to float the legs into a tabletop position one at a time. Right leg floats up, left leg floats up. Same thing with the head. Inhale, pick up. Exhale, shoulder blades peel up. Inhale, hold. And exhale, set it down. Extra challenge. We are going to extend a leg as we reach and lift. I chose my right leg first. You can pick whichever one you want. Exhale, set it down. It's like we're moving in slow motion. Inhale as you lengthen, reach, hamstrings serve the leg forward. And then we exhale, gather it back to center. Inhale, lengthen and extend. Head is hanging heavily into the WundaCore. And exhale, bring it down. Do a body scan. See if you started picking up with the front side of your neck, or if you were able to maintain that effort of the head being held between the shoulder blades. We're going to do two more, so even your body out. Inhale, reach and extend. Hold this one. We're going to hold for a few breath cycles here. Just find that length, find your neutral pelvis, and then we're going to exhale, set it down. Last time on the other side, we're reaching, holding. Let the hamstring really hold the leg with the abdominals. Let the middle back hold the head. Bring it all the way down. Pause. Keep your legs in tabletop. Taking the WundaCore out is going to go in between your calves. So it's now the narrow way. In between the calves, we're going to do a reverse abdominal curl with our legs bent. So arms are strong into the mat, and the pelvis rolls back, and we barely pick up the tailbone. That's an exhale. Inhale, bring it back to start. Should feel a lot of low belly activation. Keep the knees bent, approximately 90 degrees. Exhale, reverse abdominal curl. It's going to be smaller than you think. If you're really kind of picking up and dropping down, that's going to be too large of a range of movement. I'm thinking about the thigh bones tipping deeply into the pelvis rounding, curling, lifting, and I just barely get the top of my pelvis off of the mat. So I'm not rolling all the way to my middle back. I'm focused a lot through the deep abdominals, inner thighs, low belly. The arms are working really hard into the mat as well. We're going to hold this next one up. Hold this next one up. Lots of energy here, holding and breathing. Maybe you extend your legs a little bit. They don't have to go all the way straight. Here we go for 6. I'm shaking like crazy. Arms are strong. Last 4, 3, 2, and bring it all the way down. Awesome. All right, we're going to go into a little more sideline work, but we're going to be on our left hip and left elbow. Left hip and left elbow. And then we're going to take the WundaCore the wide way underneath your right hand. Once that's true, thank you, we're going to reach the right leg long. All right, make sure those left ribs aren't hanging down. You have a nice diagonal in your body. And we're going to reach back with the right leg. Reaching back. I've got lots of energy down into the WundaCore. I've got lots of energy under the glam line, lengthening back. Sending energy down into the WundaCore should help you lift up your bottom ribs by receiving that effort into the core and the shoulder. Head is in line with spine. Lengthen and reach for 4. We're going to mix it up a little bit in 3. Here we go for 2. Hold the leg off of your hip, energy down into the WundaCore. Send more energy into your left forearm and left palm, less through just the elbow. Yeah, I can see that. That looks awesome. And then we're going to do a small rotation through the top of your thigh bone. So I'm making a small circle, reaching and extending, reaching crown of head long away from the tailbone for 3. Here we go for 2. We're going to hit a plank. And last one, bring it down. Okay, WundaCore is going to come off to the side for a moment. We're just going to use our hands wide and our feet in first position. Hit your best plank. Knees pick up, pelvis picks up. Middle back is strong, looking straight down at the mat between your hands. Hold and breathe. Lengthening and reaching lots of energy through the heels. Lots of energy through the palms. Lifting your heart between the shoulder blades for 5, for 4. We're not going real far in 2. Keep your heels glued together. Keep your booty low. And we're going to shift back into a froggy. Shoulders shift back. Knees spiral towards the elbows. That's an exhale. Inhale. Zip up those inner thighs. Exhale. Heels stay strongly glued together. Inner thighs spiral forward. Booty stays pretty low. Inhale, bring it forward. And exhale, reaching back, dropping thigh bones deeply into the pelvis. Inhale to lengthen. One more like that. We're going to hold back in your froggy. Hold and breathe. Without changing your heels, we're going to extend the legs long into a pike. You're now looking towards the middle of your mat. Keeping your hips lifted, we're going to bend the knees as far as we can without changing the height of the pelvis or the shoulders. Then we're going to inhale to extend, lengthen and reach. Exhale, heels stay glued together, knees spiral open. Inner thighs rotate towards the elbows. Lengthen, last one. Bend the knees and bring them down. All right, guys, let's take care of that single leg on the other side. So we're going to be on our right hip and right elbow. WundaCore is the wide way underneath your left hand, and my right leg is bent. Left leg reaches. Doesn't have to be high. I'm only maybe 5 or 6 inches off the ground. Lots of energy through the right forearm so that we're not hanging out into that shoulder. Lots of energy into the WundaCore. Starting with our reaches back. Think about this as a reach rather than a kick, because we don't want the low back to be shortening as the leg goes back. You want all of that intention and energy from under the hip. Maybe even close your eyes. You can even put your hand back here like I am for a quick second and just really drive that intention to where you are creasing on the back side of your hip, reaching the right ribs towards center, lengthening tailbone from crown of head. We're going to hold the next one directly off of your hip, hold, and then we're going to go into a small rotation. Small rotation. So it's a reach and a circling around. Thinking about drawing that circle from the top of your thigh bone rather than from your foot. Here we go for 4. We have 3. We're going to use that WundaCore to help stretch us out and finish today for 2. And bring it all the way down. Really beautiful job, you guys. Roll onto your backs, please. Roll onto your backs. And we're going to use that WundaCore to help open up through the hips. We're going to take left hand and ball of foot onto the WundaCore. And we're just going to hold a nice forward flexion here, as much of an L shape as you can get. And just reach that heel towards the sky. Think about maybe dragging the thigh bone a little bit deeper into the hip socket. And I'm going to take my right hand on the WundaCore. Hip can lift, ribs can lift, but keep your shoulder down. And let's look over towards the left arm. So I've got my leg crossing towards my right and my head is turned towards the left, opening some space in the neck. And then exhale, bring it back up. We're gonna switch sides straight away. So we have the right hand and the right foot, left leg is long. And just really feel that opening through the back side of the leg, extending and reaching. Think about that thigh bone sinking in deeper to the hip. Left hand takes the WundaCore across the body. Turn your head towards the right hand. We're going to rise onto our feet for one final stretch together in 3, 2, and exhale. Bring it back to center. You can set your WundaCore down. Today I wanted to focus a lot on shoulder and neck mobility, so let's go ahead and rise onto our feet. And you can come to about 4 inches apart parallel, and we're going to reach the arms down, reach the hands down, flex the wrists a lot, and then we're going to stretch out to the sides like a T. But your hands are flexed a lot, so I'm going to get a little bit closer to the camera, so it should look like this, both sides. It's probably going to feel a little bit / a lot bit obnoxious, and that's okay. We're going to stretch and reach. Let's bring the right arm down. Left arm is now out. And we're going to look over the right shoulder with our head, with our neck, with our eyes, over your right shoulder. And then bring the eyes and the head and the neck back. Left arm comes down, right arm comes up. Flex your wrist a lot. And then we're going to turn the neck, the head, and even the eyes. And then we're going to take the eyes back, the head back, and the neck back. Bring both arms down one final time. A big, beautiful breath, guys. Arms up and overhead. Opening the heart. Drawing your navel up and in as your arms strongly come to your sides. Beautiful work. I'm so happy that you guys were here for our first mat meetup, and I can't wait to see you every week. Beautiful work. So now we can open it up for Q&A. I'm going to bring my computer onto the mat. Will you grab that table or just hand it to me and I'll bring it? And then I'm very happy to answer any questions you guys have about movement in your own skin or how that felt, or questions about a move or why we breathe the way we breathe. I am here for you. So lay it on me. Hi Lenny, I'm glad you got in.
Too. It chose that moment to update Zoom. That's why.
It's always the way. Always the way.
Yeah, and like I got everything prepared last night. I'm like, okay, good. Yeah, and it shows 5 seconds before I logged in.
Naturally.
Yeah, so it ticked me off just a little. That's okay. I got to.
You got to. Amazing.
I don't think I missed much.
I don't think so either. How do your bodies feel after that work?
That was good.
Great. Doug's off camera there. How are you feeling, Doug? You can give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Thumbs up. I love it. Excellent.
He does your Pilates 5 days a week, so.
Heck yeah.
Hi, Lynn.
A bunch of professionals. Do you have any questions about anything we did today? The fascial flossing, the kind of ideas about the feet not pointing, anything that was new or unusual? I know you guys are professionals, but.
Shades of
No, I'm just here a lot.
I know you are, and I want to just encourage you to think about what we were doing, because in our daily lives our necks can get so tight and tense, and I wanted to kind of explore that concept today about really kind of pushing range of movement with our shoulders and shoulder blades to release tension through the neck, because if our shoulder blades aren't mobilizing the way that they should, going up, down, around, in all the planes of movement around your ribs, then we're going to have a tight neck and an inability to kind of release the front side of our neck, because everything's just gripping and holding on for dear life. So I have a client who's going to be doing the recording of this class, and her question ahead of time was, how do I get out of the front side of my neck when I'm doing abdominal curls, when I'm just living life? Because if you're on your phone and you're on your devices, these muscles get so over relied upon and just gripping that it's hard to kind of down train them so that you can use a balance. But shoulders, mobilizing shoulders is a big part of that story. So that's why we started that way today.
No, I like it.
I did. I like that part
Good.
because I've worked really hard on my neck flexing muscles and I was starting to get that lump in the back of my neck a few years ago. And my chiropractor gave me, and then Pilates, of course, Jess really works on that. And so it's a really good thing because you're so right. This gets so tight. You know, yesterday you were online with that vocal coach. That was very interesting. She tied that in as well.
Well, and it's a group of muscles that I don't think about, the vocal cords, because everyone in Pilates is real quiet. I'm the only one talking. But Shay, I did an Instagram live yesterday with a vocal coach in Nashville because she had put on her stories, she physically trains them so they're ready to be on stage or just have longer stamina for their breath when they're singing. And she had put a video of a gal on a treadmill while she was doing her vocal warm-ups. And I was like, that's so cool, but for the love of God, take her cowboy boots off, please.
Oh my gosh.
And so we started just kind of nerding out on biomechanics, how it's so important to have your feet properly connected to the ground below you so that you can breathe via your pelvic floor because those domes are interrelated.
I had no idea that it was intertwined, that your feet and your pelvis and it's incredible.
It's wild and it's absolutely so true. And so we were working on a lot of that footwork yesterday to show like how you can improve your breath. And then that also goes up the chain of your spine to relieve tension through your shoulders, neck, and head. They're all, as you know, I always say scalpels for the surgeon. So it's so important to look at it from the ground up. And it's one of the many reasons we practice barefoot. You know?
I think I told you before, but I pronate, so like my feet tip in, and so I really have to focus on, you know, making sure the outline of my foot stays connected to. My husband though, he supernates. He's on the outside of his foot all the time, and so we were talking about it yesterday because he was like, how am I supposed to feel my inner thigh when I'm lifting my heel? And I was like, well, it's going to be really hard for you because you're on the outside of your foot all the time anyway. So
With this bad boy, that's how.
there you go. With the WundaCore.
It's
only got one, so he was using the other ring, and I was using the
I can't even hear such things.
Other ring.
So anytime for even just practice, like Doug, you can use the WundaCore just a few inches above the knees. You don't want it too high. And then you want to make sure your feet are parallel. Let me scooch back a little bit. Feet are parallel so that the kneecap and the big toe, second toe are in the same alignment. And then literally just very small bends and extends, and that's going to train your body to find your inner thighs straight away. So I'm doing just these tiny little bend and extend, and I'm shaking on like rep 2. Make sure we're not smashing on the WundaCore.
Does that strengthen knees as well, like the IT?
This is going to be focusing through the inner thigh, which are knee stabilizers. This is called your VMO muscle that runs here. And this is going to stabilize your knees. Okay, so this is great for Paul too. So little tiny, and for you, little tiny bend and extend. And what it's doing is it's just teaching your brain and your body to connect to your inner thighs when your knees bend. Then you can go, once you kind of start to feel that lighting up, you can go into the squats. But super important to have the knees in front of your ankle crease rather than locked right on top of it. If you lock right on top, you're going to do quads here rather than inner thighs. And then at first, especially, Doug, if your question is about when the heels raise, how can I feel it? Like send a lot of intention into equal weight across the toes. So equal weight, like you can kind of open your toes, fan them open a little bit. Really focus on energy and intention through big toe, second toe. And then tiny.
Are you pushing into the
No. No, definitely not. So you're holding it, but you're not smushing it, okay? So you're holding it almost loosely, and then you can just hover the tiniest bit, one heel. So I've got my right heel barely lifted, making sure I have all 5 toes imprinting down. And then that should be lighting up the inner thigh. And then since it's my right leg picking up, my left waistline and right inner thigh are having a little handshake at a diagonal, okay? And then put the right heel down, and then you can lift up the left heel, the tiniest bit, doesn't have to be a lot at all. And then you're gonna feel that left inner thigh handshaking with your right. And there's a very good chance that one side is easier to connect to than the other. Oftentimes we have a dominant side that's like, got you, boss. And then the other side is like, ah, it's taking its time to find the connection. But I would start there, and then Shay, on the flip side, I would encourage you to do it around your calves, because then that's gonna force you to connect outbound, where for Doug, you wanna be kind of forced to connect inbound. Make sense? So you can do the same thing where you've got your alignment, your toes are shining forward, little tiny bends, go into your squats, and then the little heel hover is gonna force you to send more energy to the outer foot to share that with the inner foot. Keeping all 10 toes really strongly imprinted. As the heel lifts, making sure that the hip doesn't lift. It's gonna want to. It's gonna be like, hey girl, hey.
Yeah, that's what you call the instant difference.
Nice, beautiful.
I'm gonna have Paul do that too.
It's 100%. It's really helpful because your knees need to have the stabilizing musculature. And when we have, and we all do, right? We all have movement patterns, habit patterns. You can look at the soles of your shoes and see really obviously if you're balanced or if you're leaning one way or the other. And then that's just good data. You can even grab his shoes next time, Lenny, and like show me on screen, and I can give you some input. Or he can even pop on at the end if you would like to, and we can do an assessment about how we can best support knee health, because it's a joint that takes a lot and we can overuse it by skipping hips, skipping ankles, because the ankles get tight. That's why we do the opening and creasing. In addition to the foot roll work, we do standing on our feet, but I want it also without weight on our feet, so we can improve the function of that joint. Do you guys want to do a foot twisting exercise that's going to help knees?
Yeah, I want to do that.
Amazing.
Yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me grab a chair. I'll be right back.
I really like that. Hi, Dad.
No. Oh yeah, we all met. This is done.
Yeah.
I have it. I really like that.
Oh.
All right, so you're gonna wanna be in a chair or on a bench, just anywhere that you can be kind of elevated. Can you see that clearly in that, or do you need me to move the laptop?
No, I got clear view.
Okay, great. All right, so what we're gonna do is have our feet 4 inches apart parallel, okay? And we're gonna start with our left ankle across your right thigh. So left ankle comes across right thigh, okay? And this is how you remember to set it up when we're not on the screen together. So because it's my left side, I'm gonna start with my left hand. My palm is up like this. And I'm gonna come under my left heel. So my fingers are below and then my thumb is on top. I'm kind of like hugging it with my hand, okay? And then I'm gonna do the opposite with my right hand. My palm is facing the ground. It goes across my toes. And then my thumb, my right thumb, is under big toe, second toe of the left foot. Okay, so my hands are kind of in opposite positions. And then the next thing I do is I make sure I'm not sitting like an ogre, because I usually am, yeah? So you don't have to be like rigid straight up, but you just wanna think about maintaining decent posture, yeah? Okay, we're gonna send energy down into the left knee, opening up through that hip, and then we're gonna twist the foot. So I'm basically kind of trying to wring out my foot like a washcloth. We can go into this maybe next week. We go into a little focus on foot mobility and foot movement. But the center of your foot, it transfers the energy as you're walking through, and it twists in a small way as you walk for proper foot function. But if that doesn't happen, if your feet are in shoes / sensory deprivation chambers all the time, then we are not going to have as much mobility and as much twist in the foot as we want to have. So we're just rotating. You might notice that at first it felt really tight and you're like, it doesn't twist at all. What is she talking about? And now as we kind of get into it, like, oh, I'm getting a little more motion, a little more lubrication in there. Do you feel that happening on your end?
Mhm.
Cool. And then maybe kind of push it a little bit. You don't want to be in discomfort or pain, but see if you can get a little more twist through there. So both hands are rotating, both wrists are rotating. It's not just the forefoot, like I'm literally going like this with both hands. Do you feel that happening?
Mhm.
Great, okay. And then let's go ahead and pause. We're gonna do a quick body scan. So then stand onto your feet and look down at your feet. You'll probably see a visible difference. And then you can close your eyes and just kind of like do a body scan and see how your joints feel from not only the sole of the foot, but the left ankle versus the right ankle, the left knee versus the right knee, left hip versus right hip. Does that feel different in your own skin?
It's like lubricated, it's like.
Yeah. It allows everything to fall into better position and alignment, like scaffolding. Okay, so it's helping our joints absorb into the places they're meant to be. So let's do the other side. We always want to do both sides. Right ankle comes across left knee, right palm is up, and then left palm is down. Okay, so my hands are like this, and then we're gonna twist in opposition. We're gonna just check our posture. Doesn't need to be perfect, but we don't want to just collapse forward. In my own skin, this right foot is a lot tighter. And I'm feeling little cricks and cracks. Hi, babies. And then we're feeling little cricks and cracks.
We're just talking. No, we're just talking. We have an exercise for you, I'll show you in a bit.
Just for you, Paul. In my right foot, I'm also noticing that my heel is pretty stuck. Like it's like, we're rotating, we're meant to turn. No, just the front of the foot. It's like,
Mine doesn't want to move, like.
So this is great. So this is your homework for the week. Okay, we're gonna do this every day. It's gonna be about a minute-ish on each foot. Okay. And then we can kind of rise up and do a little body scan again. You can look at your feet. My feet look a lot more open and spread out, a lot less kind of, ligaments and veins showing on the top because we've allowed space in the feet and unwound some of what we do. Yeah, you can bend your knees a little. My knees feel so yummy now because we've opened up the foundation for them, and then that allows the ankle joint to function better, the knee joint to function better, and the hip joint to function better. So that's great homework and just data for you to kind of do a very simple self-care. Next week, remind me, and we can look at tennis ball rolling for our feet, which is magnificent. So literally the tennis ball I have is mostly destroyed by my son and the dog, but doesn't have to be fancy. Don't go out and get a new one. But a tennis ball is going to be the right amount of tension and softness versus like a lacrosse ball or a racket ball. So I like tennis balls for the foot rolling. We can do that next week.
I used to have plantar fasciitis really bad, so I know all about the tennis ball.
You're like, yes. I would love to
Is that
see.
too? That prevents it by rolling on the palm of your foot? Does it prevent
It's
that
super helpful. It's super helpful because it's gripping and tightness under the soles of your feet. It's kind of like, you can think of it almost like shin splints under your feet. And so,
I've never, and I don't want it.
no, you don't want it. But tennis ball rolling really helps. This foot twisting really helps. So Shay, I'll be interested. Say that again.
I said since I've been doing Pilates, it doesn't mess with me so much. So
I love it. I'm interested to have you do the kind of version of tennis ball rolling that I am going to share next week, and then we can see how that feels in your own skin. But the foot twisting is really helpful, as well as you know, operating in bare feet versus shoes all the time. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a big plus.
Yeah, 'cause even around the house, I wear these little flip-flop things, cause
Oh.
we have hardwood floors, and it's just like,
I totally understand. I do like a little bit back and forth myself, but do you have toe separators? Kendall, my mentor, just was posting about some toe separators she likes. They don't have to be fancy, but toe separators are really also very helpful for plantar fasciitis.
I've heard that, and I don't know the right ones to buy. I tried going on Amazon and buying some, but they were too big, so they fell off my feet. So I don't know what.
Let me pull some links together, and then I can either drop them in the chat next week, or we can email them out to you guys.
Because I'm really interested in that, and it helps prevent the bunion things. Just
Absolutely.
helps line your feet.
And
yeah.
and when I wear like,
it'll help your back, it'll help your posture, your hips,
100%.
your hip functionality. I was having a lot of tightness in my hamstrings, really bad, waking me up.
oh,
Shay knows. I told Jessica and Shay on I was having the worst time, and Shay brought it to my mind. It wasn't my hamstrings at all. It was my hips.
it's not very often the one thing, unless it's like an acute injury, like a tear or something, but it's so often something further up or down the chain that is really contributing.
So the foot thing is really interesting to me.
Yeah.
The more it really helps align your hips and your posture, and
Everything.
so I really am interested in those toe things.
Cool. I'll get some links out to you, because I have a couple different brands. I have a pair that I've had literally for probably 15 years now. I'm due for a new pair, so I'm gonna give you guys some recommendations.
Well, guys, this was awesome.
I'm so happy to see your faces. Nice to meet you, Doug, and we'll see you next week. Thanks for being here, Din. I'll see you guys soon.
for teaching.
Bye.
Thank you. My pleasure. Bye.